Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Tell me, what's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind? Hey,
tell me, oh tell me. Tell me, oh tell me. Tell me, oh tell me. Tell me, oh tell me.
What's your talking say? You ready to go, Jen?
Yes.
You was cutting up on that one, girl.
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
what's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Tell me, what's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind? Hey,
You know you love me. Good morning, gatekeepers. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all all right? I know this is a little unusual for you, but hopefully you're listening to this on your way to work later on or getting up, getting dressed, and give you something to have a couple laughs about before I go to bed. I decided that I would go on and do this recap so that it will be done and I don't have to rush and try to do two in the middle of like in the middle of my day tomorrow. I can be free to do something else, okay? But anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. Good morning. Welcome back to the So What You Think channel. I'm Miss Jen, your gatekeeper in chief. And if you happen to be one of those early birds, night owls, insomniacs, or replay gang family members, I'm so glad that you stopped by. I told you I was coming back tonight. Well, I guess I should say this morning because it's already 3 a.m. or past 3 a.m. here. I promised I was going to leave. I wasn't going to leave you hanging. So before I finally call it a night, I wanted to make sure that your Beyond the Gate recap was waiting for you when you woke up. As always, if you're joining me live, come on in and make yourselves home. I don't think there'll be many of you this morning. I'll be shocked if I get one or two. But if not, if you're here listening later, be sure to hit that like button on the way in and subscribe and share the channel so that the channel can continue to grow. If you're new here, welcome. We'd love to have you become part of our Gatekeeper family by subscribing to the channel. And a huge thank you to our moderators who I know are not going to be here this time of night. Linda possibly, maybe, but she had such a long day. I doubt that she will be either. And because they do help keep things kind, respectful, and fun over here. And to my replay gang, don't forget to leave your comments, your thoughts in the comments. I always enjoy reading what you have to say. Now, y'all know why we're here. Beyond the Gates is the show, but the gatekeepers are the community. And that's what makes this space so special. So with that, since there's no one here in the comments, I'm talking to myself. I told y'all I can entertain myself, baby. I don't need much foolishness, child. I be cracking myself up sometimes, okay? But anyway, keep your eye on the traffic if you're driving, honey. And if you're running late for work, you already late. Stop and get you a coffee or something and enjoy yourself. Don't get the people all your time, okay? I mean, it's Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday. You ain't got to put up with all of that. Not the day before Friday, you don't. Anyway, let me go on and unlock these gates and let you know what had happened was yesterday on or Thursday on Beyond the Gates. Gatekeepers, it's time for our daily dose of Beyond the Gates Unlocked. All right, you guys. So I said I was going to have to watch part of this. Oh, I forgot about that part. Oh, Lord. Okay, but anyway, Ted and Shanice are talking, and Ted is so proud of Kat stepping up to help her sister. And then they get this sudden alert from Kat's room, and they take off running. She and Ted do. You know, sidebar, Shanice, where was this special alert at, girl, when the girl really was in a panic mode, needed some help down the hallway, girl? Where was you at then with the button? The button just wasn't working when you was there, everybody was standing around. But today, while you and Ted up here, all of a sudden it worked. Girl, I don't know. You better check the button. Get the people to come up there and check the button, girl. Because you need that thing to work when that thing really counts, like when that girl blood pressure spiked. Now the doctor is in with Eva and she's telling her that she's doing okay. And she's like, I don't understand why we're doing all this extra stuff. She's like, well, your dad wanted to be extra special, but extra careful. Because, girl, I thought you was a heart doctor or something. You were supposed to be a specialist of some kind. What you in here for a liver surgery for? She just received a sliver of a liver. She don't need no whole heart doctor right now. But anyway, what else? What else, clever? But anyway, so Eva was like, I just don't understand. Okay, so then we get to find out what all this rushing in the cat's room was about. And Cat was sitting there and she was like, I want to go see Eva. And I was like, ooh, girl, okay, go see Eva. I want this conversation, so let's get to it, okay? Now, Vernon done overheard Anita on the phone talking to her doctor's office, talking about she ain't coming for her appointment. And he was like, excuse me? What you mean you're not going to your doctor's appointment? Girl, you know you need to go for your doctor's appointment. She was like, Vernon, let me tell you something. I've had to give so much of my time to the girls and to everyone else she said, to myself, so much attention has been put on me lately that I just want the opportunity to be able to just be there for my family without having to worry with this cancer and hang on. And he was like, girl, that sounds good, but let me tell you something. You counseling ain't about to help Cat one bit. Vernon was not going for this. He was not. Now, meanwhile, over at Danny's them house, you know what they was doing, because this is all they do is lay in the bed and pitch woo, okay? Bake cakes and can on. And she's, poor Danny's feeling so guilty for what she did to her husband. That you did to Andre. You shouldn't have did it. You should have stayed in your corner of the elevator and we wouldn't be having this complication now, would we? I know you thought your life was on the jeopardized, girl, but that wasn't no reason for you to be doing what you did with Andre. That's all I'm saying, girl. Because now you got a case of the guilty consciences, okay? And everything Andre says is making her as jumpy as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, okay? He's just saying good morning. She's, what you mean by that? He was like, girl, what's wrong with you? You know what, baby? I can see that you being in that elevator is still affecting you. Now, you know what, Andre? I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you when you're right, brother, cousin. She is still bothered by what happened in the elevator, but not for the reasons that you think so. Okay, but anyway, child. Because your wife is low down. I mean, she didn't mean to be. But girl, what you did was kind of dirty to Andre. Because Andre been true to you. And Andre was a player. So that's saying a lot that Andre is true to anybody. Okay. Now, Bill, on the other hand, is over at his office. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of Danny. He over there thinking of Danny. To the tune that he even says her name out loud. I mean, it's a good thing for you, sir. The who was standing here was your daughter and not your dropping wife. Because had that been Haley standing up and heard you said Danny's name out loud, it would have been a problem and a complication for sure. I can tell you, I can bet you that for sure. Okay. But even Naomi was like, why are you in here thinking about mom? Child, your daddy got it bad. Your daddy got it bad for your mama right now. Okay. And he was like, oh, nothing. Never mind me. She was like, what's up with that? I mean, what you in here thinking about mama for? So he tells Naomi he couldn't get the image of her and her sister out of his mind, even thinking about what's going on with Kat. Just lying. You ain't even a good liar, Bill, but carry on, sir. And she was like, He says, I'm just saying, I was thinking about how that could have been y'all and how happy I am everybody's all right. She was like, yeah, okay. All right. I wonder if she glad, though, that her daddy is sweet on her mama. Who don't want their mom and daddy together unless they fight all the time? Then you don't want that. But I wonder if they do want to see their mom and daddy really get back together, or have they just went on and accepted little Andre, okay? When I say little, I mean young, not size. Okay, now, Andre wants to talk about this elevator situation. He ain't letting it go. He's like, you could have got unalived in that thing. The cord could have snapped, sucked you out of there. You got smashed up. And I'm saying, wait a minute. Now, we all already nervous about elevators. Are you telling us that you could get sucked up out the elevator if you get stuck in one in a tornado? Andre, why you had to put that in our mind now? That's going to be in the back of our minds. Lord Jesus. It's enough to worry about. Now you going to go ahead bringing up stuff about people getting sucked up out the elevator. Anyway, he pitching all the things that could have happened. Girl, it could have been this. Girl, it could have been that. But of course, the pitch instead is, I'm sorry. But of course, all they could do was pitch woo. See, Danny going to change that subject. Danny like, you know what? Let me show you something. I was like, you know what, Danny? Girl, if you don't get somewhere, not get, but got somewhere and sit down with all that. But, she got to take his mind off what he talking about. She don't need to be talking about that elevator. So she got to use what she got to get what she need, okay? Now, Leslie comes to talk to Shanice. Made me nervous at first. I ain't about to lie. But the two baddest bodies on the show is face to face today, okay? I'm thinking, girl, what is this about to be about? But she wants to give some money to the team of people who helped Eva by means of some cash. And then, you know what, Shanice gonna sit up and act like she too good to take that cash. I'd have took that money and went passing it out 100 at a time, because I know it was a roll of hundreds. I know them was some Benjamins. I know they was. But she said, no, girl, you ain't got to do that. We don't really need that. Girl, you need to take that money and but is it against the law to take a gift? I mean, listen, when my mother and them in the hospital, we take them donuts and all that kind of stuff. Why they can't take a little cash? See, Leslie, next time, don't go giving it to nobody to pass out. Just put it in their hand and go, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. And I bet you they're going to put it right down in them scrubs. Or hide it in them crocker shoes they be wearing. Them Crocs they be wearing up through the hospital. But I know one thing. I wouldn't have gave it back. They worked too hard not to take that money. Now, like I told y'all, Tomas done come and showed up with a ring. Did I not tell? Let me hold on. And butterfly, and butterfly, and butterfly, and butterfly. Didn't I tell y'all Tomas was feeling some kind of way and he was about to bust up in there with a ring for Cat? Because I really do feel like it's because, child, you ain't getting enough tension around there from them Duprees. The Duprees don't need nobody. That's the first thing you need to know. So here you come always with, I'm going to take her to Costa Rica. They like, that's nice, Tomas. I think I'm going to get her a book. That's nice, Tomas. And now here you come with a ring. And you know what Chelsea said? That's nice, Tomas. Because, baby, you got all the wrong answers. Don't nobody need what you passing out. You got the wrong candy for this neighborhood. Okay. Anyway, Ted comes to Eva's door. Hold on. Ted comes to Eva's door and tells her that she's got company. You've got mail. And so she's like, what is it? She's like, who is this? But she's sitting in there reading her book, just minding her business, trying to convalesce. And it turns out that it was Kat. And she was very happy to see Kat and emotional. This was emotional. It was. Y'all almost made me drop another. You know what, beyond the game. I done got tired of crying and can't on these episodes. We love it, though. We do. We do this kind of crime we like. This kind of stuff we like. But we don't need nobody else catching the cancer and diabetes and stuff. Well, listen, we ain't tuning in for that. We know to get to the doctor and check our sugars and stuff. We already know that. When we check in here, we trying to pretend that we rich with these people living behind the gates. If any of y'all listening from beyond the gate, I think that's nice to want to have some public announcements or whatever you call it, public service announcement. But listen, that ain't what we tuning in for. We tuning in for the foolishness, for the mess, and for the fantasy. But anyway, Kat comes over to see Eva. And it's a sweet moment. And Ted leaves them alone. And Eva said, let me go first. And she's like, thank you for saving my life. I was like, oh my God, we about to get the feelings already. We about to have the feels in here already. But come on, let's bring it. Because this was a conversation that needed to be had. And to you, Cat fans, it's always the Cat fans that's got to be addressed. Now, I'm sorry to say it, but it is now. Y'all don't want no peace. Y'all don't want no peace, because even when it's trying to be peace, y'all don't want it. Y'all still want to start some ruckus. But I live for it. I do. It give us something to argue about. So argue on, because that's what we like to do over here. Argue. We tell. Okay, but anyway, back over to Anita's. She's still trying to talk to her husband. She just wants to feel normal for a few days and help. She don't need nothing throwing her off or set her off. I don't want to hear no bad news. She was like, don't nobody bring me no bad news. She don't want to hear no bad news right now. She was like, so I ain't down there trying to take no more of them tests. I done took enough tests. They done took enough blood work. I don't want, they just had the plasma ring thing down there too. How you know they might not get my blood and do something else with it? Huh? How you know that? How you know that, Vernon? Vernon was like, nah, Anita. You gonna get down there, you gonna get scanned, you not gonna put it off, because every day you put it off puts us a day behind for you, and I ain't trying to have you a day behind for nothing. Okay, hey Theta Robson, I ain't trying to be behind for nothing. Okay, Theta, they cut up today, did they not? Did they not? But anyway, so he done told her what it's gonna be, and what it's gonna be is you gonna get around there and you gonna get that test done, ma'am, and then you gonna go around there and worry about cat them. Okay, it's all in the same hospital, so don't try. You know what? He make a good point, though, Anita. It's just up on the top floor and the next floor, honey. Going upstairs, and Anita look fabulous, does she not? But going upstairs, girl, and get your blood work done, get your checkup, and then you come downstairs and you check on cat and them. I know you're going in there to see Eva too, cause you that kind of lady. You classy. Now, some of these cat fans, y'all wouldn't even go in there and go check on Eve. Wouldn't even go. They be saying, is you going in there? I can hear Elaine now. I ain't going nowhere. And then at the same time, Miss Lil ain't going in there to check on Cat. She might though this time, because she did feel a little bad for Cat. She did. She felt bad for Cat. But you should, Miss Lil. You should be feeling bad for Cat. Cat did a big thing. Which she did say she gave her credit for doing that. She thought that was very, very kind of her. Very wonderful. Am I using too big a word when I say wonderful, wonderful Miss Lil? Because I know you're going to be listening later. Okay, but anyway. Naomi and Bill are still over there at the office. And let me find this picture. I wanted to say this sidebar. This is the one thing that Bill does all the time. And I don't know if this is supposed to be a quirk of Bill's that he looks up in the air all the time, or if this is what Timon does when he can't remember a line or he's trying to remember the next thing he's supposed to say or something. I'm trying to figure that. If I ever get to interview him, it's one of the questions I'm gonna ask. Is this something that Bill does, or is this something you do to try to recall where you are in the space of time of doing things? Because he does look up a lot. If we start counting every time, if you start paying attention to every time you catch Bill looking up in the air like this is something he does all the time. Anyway, they're still talking at his office working on Madison's case, but Bill still feels like he gonna play a little golf. And she's like, how you gonna play golf when we in the middle of doing what we doing? He was like, because I'm getting ready to play golf with the man who was adjudicating the case. And she was like, now, Dad, don't be doing nothing that's gonna mess up this case. Now, how your daddy get down there. You know your daddy do dirty law, girl. Be quiet. Let Bill do what he do. He talented. Let him do what he do the way he do it. Okay. He is in charge of the girls over here. Okay. Now, Kat said that there was no need to thank her. Because let me see, did I miss something? Because I see Tomas them on my screen. I probably did not write down what they said, because today for me, Tomas was wah 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 wah. I don't even want to hear all that. You want to marry Cat? We'll see how this gonna turn out for you, because I don't think Cat gonna tell you yes. I think the Cat done almost lost her life or came close to it. She done had something finally traumatic happen to her. I think Cat is coming out of this a stronger Cat. I think Cat is coming out of this a braver Cat. I think Cat is coming out of this a more adventurous Cat, and she ain't got time to be trying to get no married to you. Okay? That's what I think. Cat is growing. She ain't got time for this, Tomas. She don't. Sorry, Tomas. Now, Cat said that there was no need to thank her for what she had done for Eva. She said, because I already said you're welcome when you were, before you went to surgery. Okay, so now I'm going to go and find this part, because I want to play this part and get the I want to get the script right, exactly as they said things in these scenes with her and Kat, and also the one with Leslie. Child. Hold on, I want to use this one because, yeah, I think I'm going to use this one. Hold on. Let me change devices. I want to use this one because I can turn it sideways on this stand. Okay, give me a second. Let me pull up what I want here. Not that, not that, not that, not that, or this. Okay. In the meantime, do y'all ever watch Dear Future Wifey podcast? Because the couple that they interviewed the other day, they seem like they really love each other. But y'all in here trying to tell a love story about how y'all got together the way you got together. I mean, I don't know, girl, you should have been on Future podcast with that. All right, let's see. Okay, so now he wheels her into the room. Give me 1 second to catch the right spot. It's right after Tomas here. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, my headset is still on. Let me turn that off. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Did you hear me? No. Oh, wait. Under the Fair Act use, we're allowed to use things for education, for comments, for really digging deeper into things, and for review and recap and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm not claiming to own anything. I'm also not playing anything. I'm going to talk over it, but I just want to be able to refer to it. But under the Fair Act use of 1976, we are able to use things for fair usage. I forget exactly how that goes, but the Fair Act use of 1976 should protect what I'm doing here, but it's not using any of their stuff. So I can't remember how that whole spiel goes exactly. But wait, I think I might have it. Let me check under my banners. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to use this one. It says, I claim in the protection of the Fair Act use of 1976. I don't claim to own nothing in here except my opinion, and even that's alleged. Okay, so here we go. Kat said Eva said the last thing I remember is you told me to stop faking being injured. And Kat said, yeah, that wasn't my finest moment. But in my defense, I couldn't have known you were hemorrhaging until you started coughing blood up. And Eva said, I didn't tell you to. Hold on, I just missed something. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, so in her defense, she said, couldn't have known that you were sick until you started coughing up blood. Let me get back over here to these pictures. Hold on. Because I want to get to them sitting together. Okay. All right. So she said, in my defense, I wouldn't have known until you started coughing up blood. She said, didn't I tell you to get down? Eva's trying to remember. She said, before we almost got smushed by a bunch of concrete and a steam pipe. Kat says, yeah, I guess I owe you a thank you too. Eva says, I don't blame you for thinking I was faking being injured. I told so many lies in the beginning when I first got to town. Hold on, Cat fans. She said, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't believe me. I told so many lies when I first got to town. Why would you believe anything I said after that? So is that an acknowledgement of what she did when she came to town? Now, let's keep separate what Kat did and what Leslie did. She's acknowledging her stuff here. So she acknowledges that she told so many lies. That she acknowledges it. I told so many lies when I first came to town. So I wouldn't blame you if you didn't believe anything I said after that. Okay, so let's keep going. And even the truth came out about my mom and your dad. Well, our dad, she said. I'll admit there were times when I kind of played the victim, knowing that it would make you look bad. Ooh, see, that's a nugget. Because I know you all have been saying that she was doing things to try to make Kat look bad. I didn't even realize that really was the case. So for you all now, come on, Cat fans, and butterfly and butterfly and butterfly and butterfly. Y'all was right. Cat, because Eva is admitting that she said I kind of did things that would make you kind of look in a bad light. I admit that with Dad. But the truth is, you gave as good as you got every time we tangled, and that's true too. There are no victims here. It was tit for tat. They was even, and as they say, fair trade ain't no robbery. So Kat says, thank you to admitting to gaslighting me. Oh, I think Erica Vane has said that. I think that's the word Erica Vane used a lot. That they were gaslighting Kat. Erica. And butterfly and butterfly and butterfly and butterfly. My girl Erica Vane TV, she said that. She said that the cat was being gaslight. I think you just said that the other night. You're right about that. Eva said, I got half a name. I got half an organ with your name on it. It's the least I can do is admit that. But for real though, I don't get why, after everything we've gone through, you would give me this gift, Eva says. My life. Like I'm never going to be able to repay you, Kat. And she's getting emotional. Kat says, well, there is something you can do to start. And Eva says, name it. Kat says, you could answer this question for me. And she says, okay. What? Kat says, did you have any weird dreams while you were under anesthesia? Eva says, I don't remember. I don't think I did. You're asking because you did? And Kat says, yeah. It was a doozy. At first, it was confusing because everyone in my family looked the way they do now, but they were acting differently. And then the time was warped. Finally, I realized that I was in some kind of alternate timeline where my dad chose your mom and abandoned my mom and me. So yeah, she's talking about how I traded places with you in life in this dream. What would have happened if my dad had left my mom and he treated me the way he treated you? Hey, Erica J. Though if he had treated you the way he treated me. Let me read your comment here. Hey, Erica J. Theodore Robinson says, honestly, I wouldn't have given even no liver if I were Cat. I believe it was the opposite. Why I don't think Eva would give Cat a body either. No, I think that Eva would have definitely given Cat a well, I'm saying I think differently. I think Eva would have definitely given Cat what she needed. I just think, and I think the Cat was going to do it too, but I think it took Cat some processing, some really thinking, some really soul searching. A lot. It took a lot for Cat to be able to do this, but because Cat feels like she's been very wronged in this situation, and she could have righted the situation and got rid of this girl just by saying no, and been within her right to say no. So, but I think they both in the end, I think they're both decent girls. I think they're both decent girls. I really do. That's what I think about that in the end. I do. Let's keep on. So who's still talking here? I think it's Kat. Kat says, they raised you to be the golden child in my dream. Eva says, so in other words, your worst nightmare. It was your worst nightmare. And Kat just sits there like, yeah. All right. So then they go back to Danny and hold on, let me read this part. They go back to Danny and Andre, who was done baking cakes, and now Danny want to talk. Remember how they almost lost their connection that time, and she don't want that to ever happen again. Girl, boo hooty ooh ooh ooh. We do not care. We had bigger drama going on today, ma'am. Now Chelsea gets on the phone and she calls somebody to come through there because she was like, I don't know about this marriage thing. Okay. Um, Now ain't the time. Her life is too fragile, but he excited. But I think Cat gonna tell you no, sir. Be excited if you want to. Now Leslie wants to thank the people, and she'd rather give it directly to them, but they convince her to give it to charity through one of the hospital's charities. She also learns that Kat and Eva are together talking. And another thing I would like to point out is that she is actually behaving herself with Ted in front of Shanice. There's been no Teddy. No Teddy. Okay. Okay, girl. Wonders do cease. We got to see. Let's go back to the video with Kat and Eva. Don't want to miss anything, so let me go here. All right. So Kat and Eva continue to talk. Kat says, "Your mom was a hot." No, wait. I don't want to miss nothing. Let me. She said, "Dream mom was a hot mess because I reminded her of the marriage she lost, and Dream Leslie was Mother of the Year material." Eva's like, "Stop there. That's how I know the anesthesia did a number on your brain." Kat says, "Nah, I'm serious, Eva. A dream gave me a sense of what it was like to be you. Dream me felt like I've been kicked to the curb. And then I had to fend for myself like some feral cat. And I finally understood why Leslie had such a hold on you when you came into town." Oh, so she finally understands why Leslie had such a hold on her when she came to town. But Kat, girl, we your fans finally understand. You may understand, girl, but it's the people that's riding for you gonna understand that you understand. They ain't gotta understand either. I mean, it's our show. We could feel the way we want to feel. We could do what we want to do. Okay. And if it make us feel good to come in here and be mad at you, girl, that's what we gonna do. Okay. Because I ain't about to like Haley. Ain't nobody gonna make me like Haley. Haley a low down. But you never know where the script gonna take her now. I don't know. Let's continue on with this conversation. She said in her dream she felt like my mom was the only one who showed me any kind of love. And it meant everything to me, like Eva. Eva said that is how it felt. This might sound kind of crazy, but it's almost like when you gave me a piece of yourself, you got a piece of me in return, for better or for worse. You know, Kat said, I decided to be your donor because the only other choice would be to go through my whole life knowing that every time that dad looked at me, he would see the daughter who let his other daughter die. And when I look in the mirror, I'd see that too. So see, this was not just a decision for her father. As I was saying, this girl don't want to live with that on her head that, somebody maybe could have made it. Could have been a neighbor, anybody. I mean, no, she didn't want to live with that on her head for the rest of her life. I mean, that sounds good maybe for some, but for Kat, this character said, I don't want to live with that over my head for the rest of my days. That you're gone and I maybe could have done something about it. I didn't want that. Eva said, it's nice to know that you'd feel guilty if you were responsible for my death. They both kind of laugh. Kat says, that's the curse of having parents who raised me with a conscience. But Kat explains to her, you should know this doesn't mean we're going to be sisters now. Eva says, very sadly, that's valid. She said, but I like to think that if things had gone the other way around, I would have given you a piece of myself too. And she would have. I really believe this character would have. They look at each other. She puts her hand out to Kat. And Kat puts her hand in hers. This is such an honest, loving, real moment where they have a talk about, I understand you better now. And thank you for what you did for me. I get how things have been with you with your mother. But then that Kat is still strong enough. And this is what I mean by this Kat character is growing up. She's maturing right in front of our eyes. Because she was still strong enough to say, but girl, this don't mean we about to be sisters now. And then for her to even put her hand in Eva's, because she didn't have to do that either. Some people do things for people and they still walk around acting funky and nasty. I've seen that. You got what you needed, go ahead on. But this is not the way Kat is choosing to behave. I'm so proud of Kat in this moment. I really am. because it speaks to the kind of young woman she's becoming. Okay, back at the diner. Let me read this part now. Okay, back at the diner. Here come Madison in there to tell. I'm gonna shorten this because I don't really care about this part. So anyway, Madison comes in and what she basically says is, well, what's wrong with Tomas wanting to marry her? I mean, you and I went through hiccups and people didn't think that we should get married, and here we are getting married. Why can't they get married? And she was like, it ain't the same thing. She was like, but it kind of is. And then she was just being all romantical, which is something that Madison is not usually. So it was really throwing her off. And then later when Naomi came in there, it really threw Naomi off too. Naomi was like, what, girl, you see her being all over the top about love and whatnot? Girl, they ain't used to you being this expressive. You know, you doctors be all buttoned up sometime. Y'all can be a little cool and cold. At least that's what they say about Nicole, girl. They said Nicole, cold girl. Hold on. Oh, Miss Jasmine done checked in. Hold on one second. Let me see what Miss Jasmine's saying. Miss Jasmine says, Kat did the right thing and so did Eva by owning her. Yeah, that's very true. Eva must move away from Leslie. I hope this has opened her eyes. I hope her and Iz move together or something and go get married and just, I want to see this child. I want to see Eva be free of her mom. I want to see who Eva is without her mother. Is she? Because listen, sometimes you can't be raised around things and it don't rub off on you either. So she don't know if she has these tendencies, but I don't think she is. I think Eva is an empath, and I think that her mother is a narcissist. Because empath and narcissist, they're like magnets. They just, But anyway, Jasmine said, run, Cat, run from Tomas. Yeah, you don't need no Tomas in your life, girl. To marry Tomas is to get you another bill. He done already showed you that, child. Speaking of Bill goes to the country club, I guess. I guess that part of the country club was all right. So Bill and them, they seem to be at the country club. And Bill wants to hear about the plan Tomas has. And he says that after the surgery, he's going to, propose. And Tomasa says, I understand now more than ever. You talking about how I needed to have a good relationship under my belt because this really showed me that you really need to have somebody in your corner and what words of wisdom and blah, 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 blah. Child, we don't care. We don't care. Ask her. Let's see what she said because I don't think she's going to tell you yeah. Now, Kat, what did it say? Kat and Ted, but I think this I meant to say Eve and Ted. Let me see what came after this because I wrote down to watch it. Not okay. So Ted comes back in the room. Okay, so Ted comes back to the room to get Kat back to her room, and Shanice gets ready to take her back, and she's like, "See you later." They're like, "Bye." Y'all would be such good friends and good sisters if y'all would put y'all head together like the Wonder Twins that you may be. We don't know. All right, so Ted is like, I didn't hear no shouting. So, and she says, nah, we don't have the energy to shout. He says, but Kat doesn't regret giving me part of her liver. So she's glad of that. And Ted said, that's good news considering the complications that she had and with the anesthesia. Kat says, it was an amazing gesture as well. Thanks for making that happen. She says, you did that, didn't you? He says, did you know that the liver does over 500 jobs? She said, I did not. He said, it's a biological marvel. She says, yeah. So it's what just happened here in this room. Today, for the first time, Kat finally understood me and when we understood where each other was coming from. We gave each other insight, maybe. Ted said, that gives me hope. I hope that one day you two will be able to sit across each other from the holiday dinner table. Even if you don't want, make it all the way to being friends, Eva says, if that's what you want, then I have a suggestion. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to go right past this and this because this is where Madison was being all, just love, girl. Okay, whatever. Let the boy go. To keep on encouraging him go there and get his little feelings hurt. And then Andre and them are still over there talking. And then, of course, Bill and Andre got to have a moment. And let me read this part because Andre, you going to keep on tapping at the door and Bill going to give you what you came for because you don't know the secrets he's holding, sir. You don't know. Now, they wish Tomas well. And Andre said, in fact, in fact, Andre wishes him the happiness that he and Danny have. Y'all are happy, honey. You are. Y'all are. As long as Bill is in the midst of it. All right, let's continue on with Ted and Eva. I wonder would they love be as exciting if she wasn't as crazy about Bill. Because, girl, Bill fill up too many empty spaces for you to be so happy. So doggone happy. Okay, let's get back to Ted and Eva. Yeah, for you to be so doggone happy, Danny, it's too much space for Bill, Big Bill. Ted said, if you have any ideas on how my two daughters might manage to grow closer, I'm all ears. Eva says, I was looking back on a relationship with me. And ever since you found out that you're my dad, you've been so focused on making up for lost time. It's been great for me, but it's made Kat resent both of us. And no lie, I thought Kat was just being spoiled and petty. But after the talk she and I just had, I realized that she is genuinely thought that you were constantly rejecting her because you preferred me. He said that was never the case. Okay, now I want to make a disclaimer here. Now, I don't see her saying that Kat is not petty and spoiled, because Kat is spoiled and petty. But I enjoy good petty. I do. Okay, and nothing wrong being petty. Okay. But she said that she thought that she was being that way just about her being around Ted. But I realize now that what it was is that she felt like you preferred me over her. So Eva now is running Ted some education on what he did. And again, I have to go back to saying that this is something that Erica Vane and Elaine has said happened with Kat. That, that they always talking about how Kat felt thrown away and discarded and all of that. And that is true. Like nobody can argue that point. But I'm glad to hear Eva acknowledge that and tell it to Ted, maybe in a way that nobody has told him, maybe from somebody he hasn't heard this from, so that maybe he might react to it differently. Because Ted does need to. Now, he got on this thing where he was like asking her for coffee and all that kind of stuff a little bit more. But it ain't what it used to be. And there's no reason why it can't be what it used to be. And you have a relationship with Eva. That's all it's on. My dad had a relationship with me. My dad had a different relationship with all of us. And his relationship with us was based upon each one of us and what we needed individually. Okay. So, I think that that's the thing that Ted has to learn. But this is Ted's first time having two girls. So, we have to give him a minute. Eva says, I know that and you know that that's what you need to do. But maybe while we're both recovering, you should spend lots of one-on-one time with Kat. Don't even worry about me, she says. Mom's going to constantly be all up in my face. And again, let's talk about that this is selfless of Eva to be doing as well. Because she could still be the woe is me. And Kat isn't even acting like that right now. Kat is not being like, give me the attention, come and give me the attention. But she just genuinely wants her to have that. And I'm glad that Kat's look, Kat got every right to be that way right now if she wants to. I mean, she just had a major surgery for somebody. So if she wants to be woe is me and woo woo woo, she can. But Eva's like, I don't need you right now, Dad. And so Eva's acting more like the older sister in this sense to me. But she's like, I don't really need right now. I've got Mom. So, and what she needs is you right now. It's not that there is no Nicole, but what she needs is you right now. So you go take care of that. My mom is going to be in my face every second of the day. So like it's 10 people up in here, she said. She said, I also have Isaiah to keep me sane. He says, I want to be there for both my daughters. See, here you go again. She just told you to take your butt in there. She said, I know, but be there for Kat a little more. Okay. Now I got to say, now Kat and Eva have put their acting shoes on in these scenes. Kat and Eva had they acting shoes on. Okay. If you people over there at the Daytime Emmy Awards don't get these girls, don't listen. If you don't give it to them, please let them be nominated. Please let them both be nominated. Please. Okay? And thank you. Anyway, Eva's saying, choose her at this time, please. Okay, then in walks her mother. She said, I heard you finally woke up. I, sh- oh, wait. I'm sorry. This is when uh, Leslie went into Cat's room. Now, child, I'm going to tell y'all something. I thought I had to get ready to get ready. And please, cat people, don't be putting on cat on Eva what her mama done went in here and said. But in the end, it ended up to be sweet. But I was nervous for a minute, baby. I thought Nurse Lulu had checked in. I thought she was in there to do to her what she did to Lauren. I did. Child, I thought I was like, ooh, girl, I'm feeling nervous. Uh, Jasmine says, all Andre do is smash. No substance to this May December pair. They won't make it to Christmas. Ted neglects Martin as well. That's why Martin always runs to Vernon. Neither Ted or Nicole have parented the children well. Kobe and Amber ate this up. You know what? They're like latchkey kids, but their parents were present. They were just busy being busy. But I think that they then had to, be resourceful for themselves, like latchkey kids have to do. You have to learn to just get on with it. But they were high achievers, even still. So I can't really disagree with that. Okay. So Leslie comes into hold on. Leslie comes up in Cat's room. Baby, I was scared for Cat. Girl, I was scared for you, girl. Cause the way Leslie came in hot. She came in with Lulu. She came in with Lulu vibes. She came in with Nurse Lulu vibes on you, girl. I was like, do she got a vial or anything? Girl, you better watch both her hands. But anyway, she came in and she says, okay, when that surgeon removed a piece of your liver, I was hoping that he'd actually cut out that mean streak. Now, you know what? Now, Leslie, you didn't have to come up and say, leave it to Leslie to take a heavy moment and make it just a little bit light and crazy. Okay. And Eva was like, no, I'm sorry. Kat was like, you know what? This conversation is over, heifer. But I'm going to tell you something. When she first came up in that room, Kat looked scared. Kat was looking like, what in the entire Jeep in the nation? But she said, this conversation is over. Okay? But baby, she went to ring for the nurse, and Leslie grabbed that thing and threw it on the floor and said, the nice thing, kitty cat, about you being incapacitated is that I get to decide when our conversation ends. Cat was laying there like, Cat really did look like a little girl scared. Cat looked like somebody scared of the monster in her room at night. She was like, oh my God, this lady crazy. Oh my God, it's a fire. Baby, I'll be nervous for you too. I hope I don't have this in my dream tonight. Listen, standing over me like this, please. Anyway, I'm going past this. I don't want to hear nothing about y'all at this table. No more talking about Tomas. We do not care. 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 Okay. All right. So then we back in the room with the men. Oh Lord. So Andre and them running down how they got married and they went down there to Las Vegas and got married, drunk as a skunk and two rabbits. And Bill said, he says, Bill encourages him to come up with his own proposal. He says, okay, so he told him, make sure that you do it your way. And even if you do it your way, it may still not be pleasing to the people, but just do what you want to do. Okay. So Andre said, you know what? I hope everything works out for you too. I really do. And I hope your marriage is one that's as solid as and happy as what I had with Danny. And Bill smirks because Bill know he just had his mouth on your wife. Bill know every inch of Danny right now. Bill know that he knows some things, just like you do right now. Bill already know that Danny knows. Don't do too much, Andre. Don't get too ahead of yourself, son. Don't get too ahead of yourself, son. Big Bill know things, and Bill know what he know. Yeah, he do. Just wait till you find out. All right, now Danny done stopped around there to her mom in them house, right? And they were like, "What's up?" She was like, "No, nothing specific, Daddy. And then, no, I'm not keeping anything from Andre. I just like privacy, the aura mystery. And her mother says, "You've always had that. You were born with that." But you already had a marriage that was full of secrets, Danny. It almost drove you into the brink of insanity. Those secrets are Bill's, not mine, Danny says. This time I'm the difficult person in the relationship, which means I run the risk of hurting Andre. Vernon said, I don't like hearing you criticize yourself like this, baby. Your marriage seems solid. Your marriage seems solid. Why are you afraid of wrecking it? Cause hold on, let me tell you. Hold on, pause everybody. Because Vernon, your daughter know what she just did in the elevator. She did it in that corner over there. She did it in that corner. She did it in there. She did the four corner hustle up in this elevator. She did. Do the hustle. Danny done did the hustle bustle. All up throughout that elevator, baby. She did. She did. Mm-hmm. She said, I would never do anything to intentionally hurt Andre. But with everything that happened in that tornado, now, as parents, I know that they looking at each other like, what happened in the tornado? What you talking about? But anyway, let's see what you going to say, Daddy. She said, made me realize that in a crisis, you don't think straight. Vernon like, She said, that can have consequences. Not to see, girl, your mama looking at you the way mamas look at you when they looking through you, because your mama know that you done did something that you ain't got no business. Why we gossiping so early? Girl, ain't no better time. Beanstalk, hound dog, Billy Goat is just all kinds of wrong. Danny is full of it and headed for the deep end. Bill might be wrong, but Danny over here telling on herself, is she not? Danny, you over here talking too much. You need to hush. Danny, you need to hush. But keep on talking, because your mama know exactly what you're saying. Your mama about to put 2 and 2 together, and she about to get the whole story. Just keep on. She said, you don't realize it till much later that you made a mistake. Okay, so Ted asked Eva, since when did you get a PhD in life? He says, I've been schooled to the match the way I've been treating Kat. Yeah, a pretty crappy father, huh? Eva says, no, you're the best dad on earth. You just kind of have to remind Kat of that. Do what you do, Dad, not just say. Or do what you do, Dad, not just say. He says, you're so wait, hold on. Child, y'all done went too fast. I saw the word magnanimous. Magnanimous. Okay, she says, do what you do, Dad. Don't not just say. She says, you're so magnanimous, Kat. She says, started off by giving me a piece of her liver for me, Eva says. He says, the way you're talking, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you and Kat can eventually treat each other like sisters. Eva scoffs and says, get those pies out of your sky, Dad. He says, not in your life. I think there may be a silver lining, Ted says, through this horrible ordeal. Maybe in the long run, it brings us all closer together. Okay, so now they go back over there to Kat's room, right? Where y'all know Leslie about to get over here and act like she about to cut up. Danny done snitched on her own doggone self. Snitches get stitched. Like, girl, you need to hush. Because your mama about to pull you aside and say, you know, Danny, don't think that I don't realize that you and Bill were the only ones that didn't have a speck of dirt on you. So exactly what happened in that elevator? Did you regret? Or do you? That's what mama about to tell her, because your mama about to get you told, girl. Your mamas already know, girl. They already know. All right, so now Eva says to Leslie, after everything I survived, you don't scare me. Leslie says, I see that. For a prissy little thing, you've always been tough as nails. Eva says, thank you. Leslie says, no, thank you for saving my Eva. Eva says, has anyone ever told you you have an odd way of expressing gratitude? Leslie says, I came within hours of losing my daughter. And if I had, I would have lost the best thing that ever happened to me. So remarkably, you did the right thing. Kat says, I underestimated you, Kat, she said. She says, maybe that's because you think everyone thinks like you. Leslie says, I want to do right by you. Kat says, well, you can start by never ever calling me kitty cat again. She says, oh, come on. That's like a term of endearment. She says, yeah, but I hate it. Leslie says, okay, I will try my best, but it might be a hard habit to break. Kat says, I knew you didn't really mean it. She says, oh, no, actually I do. I really do honor my debts. And I want to honor this with you because no one has ever done what you did for me. And then Kat says, I hear you, Leslie. But just know when the time is right, I will collect my debts. Ooh. Kat says she gonna be calling you saying, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? She gonna be calling you from a 702 number, a 638 number, a 667 number, a 539 area code. She gonna be calling you from 928. She gonna be calling you from 663 like a bill collector to collect on what you owe her. I really enjoyed this episode for Kat. Kat growed up. Kat said, I ain't scared of you no more. Kat said, I'm going to tell you what I think. Kat said, Eva, here go what I'm going to do for you. Kat done been honest with her daddy. Kat, girl, you better go and do your thing, girl. Now we just need you to tell Tomas to take that ring and kick rocks, okay? Because you don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want it no more, okay? Anyway, it was a good episode today. I know y'all probably thinking I'm very alert. It is 4:08 in the morning. But baby, I'm about to be asleep at about 4:15. just snoring down, okay? Anyway, hold on, let me get my outro that I wrote for you guys. All right, so thank you guys for listening this morning. I hope you guys are heading into having a great day when you get up and as you're listening to this. Hope this made your day a little brighter, but don't make you forget to hit the like button for me. So gatekeepers, that's all. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks to everyone who stayed up with me or who was up with me, and thanks to everyone who's watching this for the first time this morning while you're getting ready for work or having your coffee or just easing into your day. I appreciate every single one of you. Now, as for me, I'm officially going to bed. It is after 4 a.m. and your girl is tired, but I promise to get this recap up for you, and a promise is a promise where I am concerned. Later on today, this evening, I will be back with another Beyond the Gates recap for episode 116. And know this for sure. I know that they're going to give us something to talk about. So thanks to Jasmine. Jasmine says, maybe Kat finally realizes why she hung on to that Tomas and she will dump him. That would be good. So thank you to Jasmine, who was here hanging out with me this morning. Also to Theda Robinson, who was here, and Erica J. Erica J for being here, for hanging out with me as well. All right, you guys. As I always tell you, take care of yourselves, be kind to one another, and thank you so much for spending a little time with me. Hit that like button, though, and I do hope that you're going to have a great day, and if not, there is definitely some time still left. Why not see what you can do to turn it into one anyway? And I'll talk to y'all later on today, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. All right, y'all. Bye.
Okay, that's it for today. They're closing the gate, so I've got to close this door until tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.